Hello, this is JT. I know that the more and more we get into this time, the more attention spans get shorter. So I'll try to keep this video short as I can. What I'm doing is I'm talking about a story that I had to memorize, study. It's a true story. And I had to tell it in front of a church that I was a part of. This was the story of a kid whose parents had divorced. And hopefully, if I get a chance to show an animation, it'll look a lot better. Maybe it'll be tied along with this narrative, this narration. But here's the story. It's a story of a young kid. The kid was about 4 years old when his parents got divorced. And he went to stay with his father instead of his mother. And his father decided that he wanted to join and make a covenant with the devil in exchange for wealth, power, and riches. But the price was he had to give them his son. So when he came to present his son to them, the son, there was a demon that took possession of his son. He went into the boy. The boy's 4 years old. He fell down on the floor screaming and crying. And he was too young to understand what was happening at that time. So they had two rules that if he wanted to stay right. The two rules were, one, he could never go and see his mother, and two, he could never go and join or go to any churches. And as long as he did that, then they honored their part of the deal, and they would stay in the money. So all through the years, that demon was on that boy, guiding him through all kinds of perversion. Anything that negated what the word of God said, anything that negated what the law said, the demon had him do. Sex, drugs, and all kind of stuff, partying, all this stuff. One day the boy was 16 years old in high school when he asked his father. He said, "How come I can't go see my mom?" I guess, and the father told him, "You know why you can't go do that? Because if you do, we're going to lose all this money. We got this for that. We can't do that." So at some point, the boy realized that he would have rather had his mom than to have all that money. He wouldn't have sold his mother for that money. So one day he goes and he sneaks off and goes to see his mother. The demons or whatever it is, they tell the father, and the father scolds the boy for wanting to do that. So eventually the boy gets more and more confused, and he starts asking questions. He finds a pastor that belongs to this church organization called the AmazingFacts. AmazingFacts has been in existence for many, many years. And so the AmazingFacts pastor leads him and takes him to church. And one time it's time for the boy to get baptized, time for the young man to get baptized. And usually when you get baptized, you go down in the water and you come right back up. But this time when they went to baptize him, the pastor brought him down in the water, but he couldn't bring him back up. It was like they were holding him down, and the demons came out of him, and they spoke. They said, he is ours. We have some kind of covenant with him. He belongs to us. And then they were literally trying to kill him. Like they were trying to keep him from coming up out of the water, and the pastor struggled with all his strength to try to pull the boy out of the water. The whole church began to pray. And eventually he was able to break the curse and pull the young man out the water, and he was freed from that covenant or whatever it was. So I say this story because if a lot of people have gotten swallowed up by the beast. When I say swallowed up by the beast, that means that, it says the devil is as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking who he may devour. And so a lot of people got devoured by spiritual beasts, meaning they got their mind, will, and emotions swallowed up. Mind, will, and emotions, that's the components of the soul. So if anyone doesn't know what your soul is, the soul is you. You are a soul. You have a body. The devil wants to control your soul. That means he wants to control your mind, will, and emotions. That means he wants to control what you think, what you say, and what you do, and how you feel. Basically, he wants to use you as a puppet to control you, for you to do his will. And coming out of that covenant, there are ways that you have to come out of that covenant. You can. So I say that because it is possible. And I was just playing a video, I think it was an hour-long video, hour and a half long video where the guy was talking about covenant soul ties and what you have to do to break them. You know, I'm not trained in that, but I'll see if I can attach a link to this video. If I can, I'll attach it in the comments. Okay, this is JT.